Our planet is divided into 7 continents: Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica. However, it used to be different. There was just one continent, Pangaea. Let us discover Pangaea. This is Afzal Times. Do you wonder how Pangaea was formed? Well, Pangaea was formed by several other continents. Baltica consisted of modern-day Europe. Laurentia consisted of modern-day interior North America. Gondwana Paleocontinent consisted of parts of modern-day Asia, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and South America. Euramerica consisted of North America that was not part of Laurentia and Southern Europe. And Angora Continent consisted of modern-day Siberia and the rest of Asia that were scattered all across the world. When they all merged, a new supercontinent emerged, Pangaea. Pangaea was covered by a massive ocean called Panthalassa. Panthalassa's width was twice the Pacific Ocean, and it consists of several islands. However, Panthalassa was not the only ocean. There was one more ocean called Paleotethys Ocean. However, it was divided into 2 separate parts when a continent called Cimmeria emerged. As you saw, even though Pangaea was massive, it was not the only landmass that existed at that time. One example is Cimmeria, as we explained, and the other one is Carthasia. Carthasia consists of North and South China. It was located eastward from Angora, Siberia. There were some microcontinents too. However, they are not worth mentioning that much. Pangaea changed the history of evolution drastically. For example, in the Paleolithic age, sea life was pretty much improved and there were tons of different creatures, most of which were living in the shallow seas of old continents. However, when Pangaea formed, most of those shallow seas were diminished. Therefore, all those creatures that were living in the sea were forced to adapt to new conditions. For example, amphibians adapted to new conditions. They gained the ability to spend their lives outside of the water. Sea creatures developed shells to protect their babies from new climates. There were reptiles and mammals too. However, some of the creatures which existed in that period were confused with dinosaurs. For example, a synapsid, a creature that existed in that period, was thought to be a dinosaur for a long time. However, scientists recently proved that they were not dinosaurs. In 1912, German scientist Alfred Wegener suggested that there used to be a continent that was massive. He named the continent Pangaea. Its name was coming from Pangea, which means all of the earth. There are many proofs of Pangaea's existence. One proof is the similarity between coal mines in Great Britain, Poland, Germany, and Pennsylvania. Geologists discovered that these mines were from the same time period, which meant that these 4 countries used to be together. One more proof is the rock foundations. These rock foundations in the US, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia are so similar. Geologists discovered that these rock formations used to be a mountain chain, Central Pangaea Mountains. There is even more proof of this. However, this is it for today's video. It was Afzal Times.